Hey everybody, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is Saturday, August 1st. It's August 1st, it's August. It's August 1st of the year 2020 and this is my 30th FlossTube. So welcome to you all. Welcome back to all of you returning viewers and subscribers. As ever, thank you so much for your support. I do want to give a special welcome and a thank you to all of my new viewers and subscribers. I did get quite a spike in subscribers since I uploaded my whip parade last week. Apparently people like whip parades. It's a thing. So thank you so much. That made me very happy, and I'm getting very close to hitting a milestone, so thank you all for giving me a chance, for letting me take up a little bit of your time as I ramble on about my cross-stitching journey. So I hope that you continue to like what you see, and I'm gonna go ahead and treat this as a regular FlossTube video. I know that I mentioned that I would record a regular FlossTube in addition to the whip parade, but it actually took up more time than expected. I ended up filming over like the course of 2.5 days because I do my videos in both English and Spanish. So filming a regular FlossTube video would have meant like filming pretty much like three days in a row, and that was just a bit much. So so like during the whip parade I mentioned what I worked on during the week anyways, so I thought I would just leave it. But I'll go ahead and treat this as if the whip parade never happened. So I'll go ahead and cover what I stitched on since the last video, the last regular FlossTube video. So grab your cup of tea, your cup of coffee, your stitching, if you would rather stitch as I show you everything, and yeah, let's talk stitching. If you watch my regular FlossTube videos, then you'll know throughout the course of July I participated in Full Coverage Fanatics, which is a Facebook group. They had an event this month called Full Coverage Fanatics Bingo, where I have my board. They had a template in which it's just like a regular bingo board. Each space had a category, and you could participate either counting stitches or not counting stitches. If you chose to not count your stitching, you had to stitch on whatever the category was for each space. If like me, if you chose to count your stitches, you could either work on the category that the space indicated, or if you didn't have something that had to do with the category, sorry, I have like, my hair keeps getting untucked. If you didn't have anything that related to the category, you could do penalty stitches, which is double the amount, 2,000 stitches. So this was pretty much what dictated what I stitched on during the month of July. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Kim. I know sometimes she watches. Hi, Kim, and thank you so much. You and Anne. It was a fantastic challenge, and it really made me get down to business on some of my whips that hadn't gotten a lot of love. So the last pattern, sorry, I just filmed in Spanish, so I was gonna say the word in Spanish. English. The last pattern that I showed you guys last week, that I mentioned, was one of my new starts. This is Chilton Crafts Cinderella 2015. This is based on Daniel Kordick's artwork, and I used this for a space in bingo where you had to stitch on something that had either a human or something that had human-like features. So, I mean, that's all that pattern has. I mean, I guess you could technically say it has butterflies because her dress has butterflies, but she's the main focus. So this is what I got done on her, and yeah, it's just 1,000 stitches. I did start on it was mostly just one color, but I did start on a second color, which made me happy because I know sometimes when you start out pieces, you really just, especially in my experience, it's just like black backgrounds. So yeah, it made me happy to have a second color there. But I do want to keep working on her. Tentatively, I'm going to shoot for a page finish by the end of the year, which is the equivalent of 8,000 stitches. So yeah, so I only have 7,000 stitches to go till the rest of the year. We'll see. I mean, I wasn't planning on starting her. I was just inspired and decided to start her on a whim, so I'm not going to hold myself to her. I would rather reach my goals on my older whips. But the next space that I worked on for full coverage phonetics was we had to work on something that had geometric shapes, which, I mean, a book is a rectangle, you know, like I think just from what I've seen other people do for that space, I think you could just pretty much spin it any way you wanted. But I picked up my Carolyn Manning design called Stitch Sea Glass. Which this was actually part of a sale back in May. A lot of stitchers in the community decided to start her designs. The hashtag is Manic Manning, because it was Mania. It was still part of Mania. So it was Manic Manning Sal 2020. I think the main pattern that a lot of people started were her Northern Lights, which was one of these again. It just had, you know, purples and greens and blues. But I just went with this one because I mean, I'm a sucker for teals, so when I picked this out, I was literally like, I was kind of wanting to join with Northern Lights, but I wasn't 100% convinced of the pattern. So I just kind of like, oh, I'll just take a look and see. And I was this close to just being like, oh, I'll just skip out, it's fine. And then I saw this pattern and I thought, okay, this one's for me, I have to do it. But I did put in 1,000 stitches on this one. I finished up this little 9x9 square, I guess, and I'm trying to work it so that I'm not jumping around too much. I know that Leanne Stitches, hi Leanne, she's also working on this because she too loves teals as much as I do, and I'm pretty sure she's working on this like square by square, so props to her, because I couldn't deal with that many color changes. So yeah, this is what I've done. And with this one again, since it wasn't a planned start, I'm not going to hold myself to a goal, but tentatively I'll go ahead and shoot for the page finish on this one as well. And I think for this one I have like 1,500 stitches done already, so it's a start. Again, it hadn't, prior to bingo, it really hadn't gotten much love since the sale started, so oops. But then afterwards, that was the beginning of the 24 hours of cross stitch marathon that's organized by Jen Lee of Quirks and Stitches. She does have a FlossTube, but I can't remember the channel name. I'll link it below. But she does have a Facebook group for it as well, and she has, you know, she has events going on throughout the entire year. Besides the marathons, she has challenges. You know, according to the month, she has acrostic challenges. She has holidays, so you just stitch on something related to whatever holidays are happening throughout the month. So she's got tons of things to do in that group. It's really fun. But throughout the year, she does have these 24 hours of cross stitch marathons, which originally were 24 hours straight, but now it's just throughout the course of the weekend, where you stitch 24 hours. Again, just you have 3 days to do it. So what I did was I picked one whip to focus on for each day of the marathon. So the first whip that I picked up was my Heaven Earth Designs chart mini midnight stroll by Julie Fain, or you know, the artist is Julie Fain, and this is going to be a gift. So this is one of my main focuses. I'd rather finish it sooner rather than later. It's for my goddaughter, my cousin's daughter, not my daughter. I need to clarify that because there was confusion. I had a comment like, how can you get so much done and with a 2-year-old? It's like, it's not my 2-year-old. But I must have misspoken, so yeah, so I just felt like I needed to clarify that. So on Friday I stitched 1,400 stitches, and then throughout the week I picked it up again so I could complete the 2,000 stitches for a space in the bingo board. Because I had already used this for another space. We had to stitch on something with fairies, but then I just used this for penalty stitches because I was already using it for the marathon. So I ended up adding, because I'm doing this color by color since it kind of lends itself to it. I added an entire color purple and then the entirety of this new pink color, which I am loving so much. It's one of the new DMCs. So yeah, I'm really liking how it's looking, and I'm looking forward to continue to work on it. And I have this on my Dot Goose bag. I think it was called like Plum Surprise or something. This is the inside, and I thought it was really cute. So yeah, this was another birthday gift, and yeah, I just thought it's purple, so it has to be for Midnight Fairy. Then on Saturday, the whip that I focused on was my Snow Girl. And this is a Chilton Crafts design or chart based on Daniel Cordick's design. And this is for another event in Full Coverage Fanatics, where we have to stitch 20,000 stitches in the year 2020, which I've reached the 15,000 stitch mark. So I'm getting there. Oh, where is it? There it is. And for this one, I did 1,200 stitches on Saturday. And again, I picked it up throughout the week to finish up those additional stitches to do the space in the bingo board. So this is what I have done, and I'm finally, I did a lot of this and a lot of this, but I've finally started to add the darker colors. I tried to do, you know, the whites, all the light colors first before adding the blacks and the grays, but it's fun because I'm now you know, systematically trying to fill in all those empty spaces, all the confetti and the empty spaces that I had you know, ignored because I wanted to keep doing the lighter colors. So yeah, I'm excited. I feel like I'm on the home stretch with this one, which, like, I don't know, it made me a little sad because I realized I wasn't going to get to stitch the apple. I was looking forward to adding some colors, and yeah, like those last 5,000 colors or stitches are not gonna get me to the apple. Then on Sunday, the focus piece was my Heaven and Earth Designs chart Moon Charmer, and I got the select the size option, which is when you can submit a request for a change in an available chart. So if you want something bigger, if you want something with more colors, if you want something smaller, yeah, you can go ahead and submit a request. So the only reason I got this is because it was smaller than the original. That was it. Nothing, yeah, that's all it was really. And this is one of my my heavier goals. I would like to be able to reach 50,000 stitches by the end of the year on this one. On Sunday alone, I got 1,100 stitches done, which was a little over the 1,000 stitches that I needed for the space in bingo. I used this for the space where we had to work on either a design or a designer's name that started with a vowel. So Amy Stewart starts with an A. Boom, 1,000 stitches. Let's go. So yeah, so this is what I have done. I'm still just working on I worked on this area right here. So from the last time you saw it, you can see that there's another star that's popping up over here. So yeah, and I'm working on filling in this area right here. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I still have a lot to go. If I want to meet this goal of reaching 50,000 stitches, I need to do 4,000 stitches a month. So I just dropped the needle minder. That's great. The back, yeah, the back got stuck to my chair, and so the front just blooped. So I'll have to get that eventually. But yeah, this is a fun design to work on, and it does get a little easier because I do just work with 1 or 2 colors at a time. So those 1,000 stitches were no problem to do. I just need to keep reminding myself of that. Today's actually the first day of the 100 Days of Hate, which is from a Facebook group called Stitch Talk, and it's all because the full name I think is Stitch Talk Hate Challenges or something like that. I'll go ahead and link it below. But Portia just does a lot of different challenges throughout the year, and then I think it's twice a year that she does this 100 Days of Hate. I've tried like 3 times to do that. I think once I got close, once I got to like 80 or 85, and then I lost it. I didn't stitch on it for like 2 days, so I was like, dang it. But I don't think I'll participate, but I'll still make an effort to stitch on it regularly, so that I can reach those 50K. Because that would be nice. I'll give stats and goals towards the end, after showing the progress, the progress report. Once once the weekend was over, I went ahead and once I wrapped up the remaining stitches for the spaces, I still had some time left, so I went ahead and worked on another space where we had to work on something with trees. So I picked up Change of Seasons 2 from Mystic Stitch, and if you've been watching my videos, then you know that I started this with Zakia of Lady Wing Designs. We both started this on Leap Day. We originally wanted to finish it by the next Leap Day in 4 years, but we decided to give ourselves more time and give us 8 years instead of 4. So hopefully that'll be enough time. But yeah, since that did, you know, apply to the category, I only had to do 1,000 stitches, and unfortunately I'm still on the same color. It's 1,000 stitches in the same color. So I think I will start on a second one, just because we're both struggling with the monotony of one color right now. So I'm thinking I can just start working on a second color so that I'm not, because I don't want to lose the mojo on this. It really is a pretty design, and it did go a long time without me stitching on it. Again, thanks to Kim and Anne of Full Coverage for thinking up of this challenge, because it really helped to bring out a lot of my whips that hadn't gotten a lot of love. After that, I worked on one more space. We're calling it quits. We had to stitch on something that had more than 80 colors. So this one had 89. This is Tilton Crafts Wonder Woman Warrior Princess, based on Daniel Kortek's artwork. And this one I started along with Snow White. I started it back in November. The goal that I gave myself was 10,000 stitches, and I reached the goal. So I think I have like 300, actually no false, I think I have like 300 stitches more to do, so I'll go ahead and use it for a magical stitch challenge or something, so I can go ahead and get it taken care of. But the 1,000 stitches let me, I started filling in a lot of the confetti, and I was finally able to get some color in. I've been working with, you know, blacks and purples and browns, and then I was finally able to add some new colors, this pretty shades of blue. That made me very happy. So yeah, so only a few hundred stitches left to go. Yeah, until I can go ahead and leave that in. And that one I keep in another bag that Michelle of Southern Doxy Stitcher made for me. So a Wonder Woman bag. Can we just a Wonder Woman bag for my Wonder Woman whip. I'm actually going, so sorry Michelle, but I'm actually going to use this for another project, because again, I'm almost done with I've almost reached my goal in Wonder Woman. So I actually want to use this, so I'll use it for another project until next year when I bring Wonder Woman back out again, because I'm like, yay, I got a bag. Because it just came in the mail. It had a wild ride in the mail. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and put another project in it in the meantime, and then I'll go ahead and put in my Tilton Crafts in once the new year starts and I can get another goal for her. The last piece that I worked on, so that was it for my full coverage Fanatics bingo board. I did 19 spaces total. which between penalty stitches and actual like spaces that actually fit the category, it amounted to almost 23,000 stitches. So yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But I had a lot of fun, and again, it really kicked, you know, it really motivated me, and I was able to stitch in a lot of things that hadn't gotten some love, so I really, really liked it. And then I still, so I had like maybe 2 days left in July, so I guess technically maybe I could have done, but I didn't have, so the problem was that I didn't have any more, actually no, false. I had the dragon space that I could have used Haku with, but I didn't want to stitch on Haku just yet because we're turning over, you know, things for August, and I want to use that for focus piece for full coverage fanatics, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I had a few days left, so I ended up going on with another whip. This is Lakeside Needle Crafts Time to Stitch Mystery Style, which it's going to be a 12-part series that comes out on the 1st of every month. So the first part came out July 1st, and I had gotten some of the clock done. This is actually, I needed to restart this. I'm so glad I restarted it. I had originally started this on an 18 count white Ada, because I had looked at Maria Diaz, who's the designer of this piece. I had looked at her designs, and I had come to the conclusion that she didn't use a lot of partial stitches. So I thought, okay, she doesn't use partial stitches, I can go ahead and work on Ada, 18 count Ada, it's fine. It's not gonna be too difficult. And then the design came out, the first part, and I was like, oh no. Cause I mean, it's true, she doesn't use partial stitches too much, but what she does use is a lot of detailing. So let's just I don't even know if you guys can see it. Oh, I forgot to do, my bad. So it's supposed to be, so this right here, it's only on one side here. I forgot to do the top. I'll have to add it in, but you can't really see it that well on camera. They're like these little like S-shaped squiggles, curly cues. Again, I'm really glad I decided to switch to this fabric. This is a 14 count Ada that's dyed by Fiona of Fiona's Craft Cottage. This is cappuccino froth. So I really love this retail. And when I did the floss toss, I didn't, like, I knew I had some lighter shades and I didn't think they would disappear. I'm not mad about it, but you can see, like, this is a perfect spot. Ooh, the shading just changed. Okay, this is a perfect spot right here. So it did kind of disappear. The shading over here kind of disappeared a little bit, but I'm not mad about it. You can still tell it's there, so I don't mind it. But yeah, it was very, very detail oriented. Like, can we just look at that face? Like, look at that clock face. It's a lot of details. And the second part just came out. It's a lot smaller. It's a second clock, but it's a lot smaller. So I'm like, thank you. But I mean, I have all month to work on it. It's gorgeous though. I loved it. Like, as soon as I saw it, because this was the sneak peek. So as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. So yeah, so this is I actually just finished this up last night, just in time for the second part to come out. So I'll be working on that. probably within the next couple of weeks. Yeah, because that one comes out at the first of every month. The newest project that I have is the Stitching Book Club just released their next book / pattern in the series. She's going to be working with Frankenstein, which I've talked about. I'm so excited for, and it's finally here, and I'm very excited. And the fabric just came in yesterday, came in just in time. So this is actually going to be different because and I don't know if I've mentioned this in my past videos, but usually, I mean, it's just like any other thing. She releases the pattern, she has the floss and the materials for it. You know, she gives you suggestions, like this is the called for fabric. Obviously you can adapt and change things as you see fit. This one's different. This one, she announced that it was going to be monochromatic. It was just going to be one color, and she wasn't going to be releasing like a definite, this is the floss that you need to use, this is the fabric that you need to use. You could pick and choose however you want it. She allowed us creative freedom. She just said, use whatever you think or whatever represents Frankenstein to you. So I kind of went with that idea. I decided to go with this, it's called Touch of Gray. I just got it from 123 Stitch. It's 14 count. And the floss that I'm going to use with it is DMC 4522, which is variated floss. Let's see if I can get it to show. Yeah. So it has purples and browns and greens and like really dark greens, and I just thought it was gorgeous. I originally wanted to use a DMC 4000, which is a lot of black and brown tones, but then I saw this and I just decided to go with it because, I mean, can we just talk about that purple? And I was still happy with it because the reason why I wanted to go with the browns and the blacks is because I wanted it to represent well, at least from the cover, the book cover that I have, he has dark hair, and his skin is also obviously various colors, but they're all like different tans. So that's why I wanted to go with the browns and the blacks. But then with this one, I still loved it because it was also a nod to the, you know, Halloween colors with the purples and the greens, without being like, not tacky, but not, you know, I wasn't going with the lime green and the purple that are typical of Halloween. But yeah, I'm super excited to start on it. I've already bought it. I have it downloaded. The preview, the startup, I can't really tell, but it'll be fine. It's gonna show up just fine. So the preview is available. The sign up is available for purchase right now. So the style isn't officially starting until the end of August, but she wanted to give us the entire month basically to get a head start on the stitching, because she did mention that it was going to be very stitch heavy. So she wanted to go ahead and give us a chance to get a head start, try to finish the border before the second part releases. And the it's literally just like a frame, and it has Frankenstein going down the middle. But I'm really excited. So you'll definitely be seeing that on my next video. So since we're shifting over to plans, as ever, Jessie Marie did release her two spaces for WhipGo, which I have to play catch up on, because she called out mini midnight stroll. Well, I mean the equivalent. She called out 8 and 5 for July, but I was just so focused on full coverage fanatics bingo that I just kind of disregarded it. Number 8 was mini midnight stroll, so I still got 3,000 stitches on it. The goal that I had given myself for it was 4,000 stitches, so I only came up 1,000 short, which I'll do you know, sometime this week, so I can just go ahead and check that goal off. And then my 5th one was, sorry, it fell. I had it like leaning against my chair, but decided to go for a ride. My number 5 was Lilac Evening. So this doesn't qualify for full coverage, so I decided to just go ahead and set it aside, like I wasn't going to be focusing on it. The goal that I had given myself for this one for the month that it was called for was 500 stitches, so I'll go ahead and use her for something, for a prompt or something this week, so I can go ahead and get those 500 stitches in, and I can go ahead and just mark off the July goals for Whipco. This month she called out 9 and 10, and she actually called out 13 as well, but 13 is, as with any bingo board, the center's free, so free space. And for that one, she told us that if we wanted, we could add, you know, a whip to that space, but she did tell us that she's going to treat it as a free space. So if that number was called, she was gonna call a 3rd number for that month. So so that's what ended up happening. But the focus, so my 9 was mini 1, which, yeah. So the goal that I gave myself for mini 1 when it was called was to stitch 2,000 stitches. However, the year goal is to hit 25,000 stitches. Right now I'm at 24,500. Actually, not even. False. I'm like way over. I'm like, what am I thinking? The reason why I said that is because I'm using it for a ultimate task in magical stitches, and I have 500 stitches to go on it. That's why I had the 500 stuck in my head. I'm really way over the 25,000. I think I'm like 26 or 27 now, because I keep using it. Because that's why. It's because I'm trying to complete that ultimate task. So this is what I have done on her. So what I'm gonna do is, since I've already reached the goal of 25,000 stitches, I'll go ahead and do the last 500 to complete that ultimate task, but then I'll just go ahead and move on. I'll call it a day and move on to another goal, because we're in August. I can't deal. It's August already, and I just don't want, like, there's a lot of other whips that are calling out to me that I need to work on, so I would much rather move on to the yearly goal of another whip rather than focus on this one that's already gotten a lot more done than what I originally planned for. And that's due to my bad planning, because I shouldn't have started that ultimate task if it was gonna get me so beyond that initial goal. Anyways, the next piece the next number that she called for was, I don't know what happened there. Oh, I think I know. I think it was the magnets. The next number she called for was number 10, which for me was Flowers of the Alphabet. And it ended up working nicely because School of Magical Stitches just released the extra credit for the month of August, and we have to, it's an acrostic poem. We're reading Mother Knows Best, which is based off of Mother Gothel from Rapunzel, or Tangled, whichever. And we, it's an acrostic poem, so we just need to stitch on something, a whip that has an object that starts with that letter. So this is perfect for it. I don't think you can repeat. I don't think you can repeat letters or repeat objects, so I'll have to find something else to fill in those spaces, but this will work really nicely. The goal that I set myself for the month that it's called is to finish one flower, which is pretty much what I have done. I don't even have to, so I just have to finish this one flower this month. But the yearly goal is to go ahead and finish 4 flowers total. So I'll go ahead and shoot for that instead. I'll see if I can do it. If not, I'm sure I'll think of something else to do, so I can have those 4 flowers done before the end of the year. So yeah, so you'll be seeing this piece, even though I haven't. Again, this is another one. Then I'll just put that back later. I haven't really stitched on that too much, so it'll be nice to get it back out again. And then for Full Coverage Fanatics, they do a tour around the world. Well, it's a year-long event, but every month it's a different country. So this time for August, we're going to Japan. So that's why I was trying to hold off on not working on Haku. It's because I wanted to use it for the Around the World challenge. Plus, I didn't feel like counting stitches. That's it. I just, because this is the paper pattern, I just didn't want to count stitches on it. Pattern Keeper just got an update though, so I'll see if maybe this will be compatible with it now, because I know that she just added a ton of compatible designers. But yeah, I'll go ahead and keep working on him. I did use him for a space earlier in the month of July, so he's gotten quite a bit of work done anyways. So, and the lighting is not doing me any favors right now. I promise this doesn't, like, that fabric is just coming out a lot grayer than it is. It's more blue, really. Like, you can barely even see the design on this. Maybe if I put the paper behind it, will that help? Hold, please. Does that work? Does that help? Not really. Oh well. I pretty much so I pretty much just have this middle section to go. This middle section right here, and obviously the dragon itself. I started on him. So yeah, he's coming along really well. He's a really quick stitch because the background is mostly half stitches. So again, like, if I would have used him for the bingo, I would have had to do twice the amount, because half stitches count for half. So again, I just did not feel like using him for another space. So yeah, so that's all I have planned for now. I am gonna go ahead and go back to doing magical stitches and enchanted stitching. I did do the homework this week. It actually fit. Like Midnight Stroll I was able to use for enchanted stitching. It was, we needed to stitch on something, because we're, for the month of July they did National Treasure, because 4th of July. So the prompt was again treasure, so it's about them looking for treasure. So we needed to work on something that either is meant as a present, so it's something that somebody else is going to treasure, or it's something that means a lot to us personally. So I used Midnight Stroll because that's going to be a present. But yeah, so I've already gotten back into into the habit of doing my weekly tasks, so it'll be fun to keep going on that again. And I do want to try to stick to the 1,000 stitch count mark, because I mean I saw a lot of progress on my whips, so I do want to keep going on it. So yeah, I did I cried, but I did go ahead and count up how many stitches I would have to do this month on each of my whips in order to meet my goals. Some of them I'm really close to finishing. Wonder Woman, again, I only have to do 300 more stitches. And some I'm also relatively close to finishing. For June, I mentioned it previously, I only have to do 3,000 more stitches total, but the rest are still kind of bad. One of the ones that's going to be hard to reach is my Midnight Stroll one. I wanted to hit 25,000 stitches at the end of the year. Don't know that's going to happen because I would have to do 4,500 stitches per month. So, and I see, because I have them written down as well, Change of Seasons is also one of the heavier ones, and Moon Charmer, they're both 4,000 stitches a month. So yeah, we'll see. At this point, because again, I don't know where the year went, I'll just focus on the goals that I can reach. So again, Wonder Woman is going to be the first thing that I knock out, and then Haku is also the goal is to finish him this year, so I'll try to finish him this month since he's supposed to be a focus for this month. And then I also need to finish, and I do have it here, so please hold. I started this back in June, end of June. This is going to be a present. This is Rick and Morty pattern by Oh My Stitches shop. So this is going to be a birthday present, and the recipient's birthday's in September. So I need to finish this, and I don't have anything done really. This is it. This is my start. So this also needs to get finished. There's a little over 7,000 stitches in this entire thing, so I need to somehow do 7,000 stitches this month. So that's definitely going to be a focus. Let me see. Hogwarts, the goal is to reach 80,000 stitches. In order to reach that goal, I would have to do around 2,300 stitches per month. Snow Girl, I'm almost close to it, so that's going to be another goal that I'm going to strive for after I finish Wonder Woman. Bilbo is one of the ones that I want to finish this year. In order to do that, I would have to do 3,000 stitches per month. So villains, so my Disney villains piece, which I meant to take out during bingo, but it didn't end up happening. For that one, I do want to finish that one panel that I'm working on. I would have to do 2,000 stitches per month in order to do that. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but again, that's easier said than doing the 4,000 stitches for Midnight Stroll, or 4,500 stitches for Midnight Stroll. So we'll see. I've got my work cut out with me, at least even with those initial 4 or 5 whips. So yeah, I'll go ahead and make sure that I take care of those first, because at this point I have a lot of whips. So I did start a lot of new ones. Sorry if you could hear the ambulance going by. So yeah, I started a lot of whips, so again, I'm trying to not stress myself too much over the new ones and just focus on the old ones. Hogwarts, Moon Charmer. Let me see, I think the next one that I have here is Mini, oh yeah, Mini 1, which I'm already pretty much done with. But yeah, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for sticking around. Sorry if I bored you with stats. I know some people like doing it. I know that that's how I kind of have some sort of focus for each month. But yeah, again, thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. If you have any questions regarding anything you saw, feel free to either drop a comment. You can reach out to me via Instagram. I'm available always for questions. I'm happy to help. I know I've just got a question about, where I buy my fabric. So yeah, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out. And yeah, I hope you have a relaxing weekend, and you have a productive week. I hope that you stay safe, and that you always find the time to do the thing that makes you happy. So until next time, take care. Bye.